Not true. It will turn out to be. But Ryan was lying about stuff that's already happened. Bold, bold lies. Let me start with, and here are 6 of them that I identified. I'll tell you them real quickly. Now, these are only the 6 that I picked up last night, right? But let's start with the GM plant. The GM plant in his hometown of Janesville. Paul Ryan.
Right there at that plant, candidate Obama said, I believe that if our government is there to support you, this plant will be here for another 100 years. That's what he said in 2008.
Yeah.
Well, as it turned out, that plant didn't last another year. It is locked up and empty to this day.
Now, what he doesn't say is that plant didn't close when Barack Obama was president. It closed before he became president. It closed under George W. Bush. He also doesn't say, of course, that Mitt Romney was for shutting down every single GM plant and every single Chrysler plant. A big lie to the American people. I mean, at least give Barack Obama credit for saving the American auto industry, because he did. Let's move on. Line number 2. He talks about the stimulus as being a total bust.
What did taxpayers get out of the Obama stimulus? More debt. That money wasn't just spent and wasted. It was borrowed, spent, and wasted.
Now, what did taxpayers really get out of the stimulus? By the way, he didn't say. He voted for the stimulus. He voted for once the Bush tax cuts were extended. Paul Ryan voted for the stimulus.
Typical Ryan.
He sent 4 letters to the Secretary of Energy for asking for stimulus money for his district. What did voters get out of it? 3.2 million jobs, according to the Congressional Budget Office. And 95% of Americans got a tax cut out of the stimulus. Almost half the stimulus went to a tax cut for the American people. Paul Ryan. Lie number 2. Lie number 3. He talked about Obamacare, saying that Obamacare was putting the federal government in charge of health care, when in fact, as we know, the federal government has nothing to do with Obamacare. It just says everybody has to buy private insurance. 36 million Americans have to buy insurance from a private company. There is no public plan option. 4th lie. He talked about Obama cutting $716 billion. We've heard this before in the campaign trail. But here he is in front of the world repeating this accusation, lie number 4, against President Obama.
$716 billion bundled out of Medicare by President Obama. An obligation we have to our parents and grandparents is being sacrificed, all to pay for a new entitlement we didn't even ask for.
He doesn't tell the American people that the exact same $716 billion cuts is in his budget, which he and every House Republican voted for, and the $716 billion comes out of insurance companies and hospitals, does not come out of Medicare benefits. It's a big lie. On the next slide, number 5, he talked about the fact that the credit rating of the United States has gone down under President Obama.
It began with a perfect AAA credit rating for the United States. It ends with a downgraded America.
Why? Because House Republicans were playing games with the debt ceiling. Remember, that's why the credit rating agencies downgraded America's credit. Because the Republicans wouldn't raise the debt ceiling, which they've always done that automatically. President Obama was begging them to, urging them to. They refused to do it. They're responsible, not President Obama. And finally, line number 6, Paul Ryan attacked President Obama for not accepting the recommendations of the Simpson-Bowles Committee without telling us, the American people, that he was on the Simpson-Bowles Committee. He sat on it, and he voted against it. Paul Ryan, voted against it. How could the guy just lie through his teeth that way to the American people? And those dumb-ass Republicans in the crowd had no idea what he was saying. All they did was cheer every line because it sounded good. No idea what the facts are. That's why we're here, to make sure the American people know the truth. Let me tell you, don't just take it from me. Fox News summed up they said there were 3 words to describe Paul. This is Fox News. 3 words to describe Paul Ryan's speech last night. Dazzling, distracting, and deceptive. Fox News called it deceptive. It was. It was nothing but a pack of lies.